hump day. You know what time it is, okay? It's time to get it on like Donkey Kong with Dear Juju. Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. Hi, how's it going? How's your week going? Oh, mine's going, pretty good, I would say. I'm on a parasite cleanse. So if you've listened to this podcast before, okay, you know we had pinworms a few months ago. So that sent me down a rabbit hole of detoxing and parasite detoxing. Then I kind of forgot about it a little bit since the pinworms left. And I was sponsored on Instagram, Food Over Drugs, and they just got into Air One, and I was like, oh, let me look at that, because it said parasite cleanse, then it said 5-star best parasite cleanse on the market, and I was like, oh yeah. After I came back from Mexico was the perfect time, because you're supposed to do it around the full moon, 5 days before and 5 days after the full moon, and we got home about 3 days before we were supposed to start our cleanse, and I said, you know what, better now than never, let's do it. Now you think, oh, that's gross, I don't have parasites. Everybody does. Newsflash, if you've ever had meat, dairy, sushi, you got parasites. Yeah, they're living inside you right now. And what's crazy is that when I actually had pinworms and saw a worm wiggle out my asshole, go back and watch that episode, okay? It's a real good time. I would never know. That's the thing. It's like you don't know that these things are living, hatching eggs, multiplying, and just living life inside you. Yeah, there's a whole world not under the ocean that we don't know about, but in your guts. And that just freaks me out because, especially in kids, it leads to behavioral issues. It leads to teeth grinding. It leads to any kind of eczema or kind of weird skin things that happen, usually parasites. There has been a new link to endometriosis. Demetriosis? I don't know exactly the pronunciation on that. But yeah, whole plethora of health issues where, listen, let's parasite cleanse first and then see if the issue is still there. If it is, then you can treat it, but usually 9 times out of 10, it clears it up. Do your own research. Go watch Food Over Drugs. And I'm like, you know what? If it's good for Air One, it's good for me. So I'm on day 6. Actually, I'm halfway through. The full moon was yesterday. Now, I'm not going so far to get the chopsticks and break up my poop to see the dead worms. That is too much for me. I'm just going to say goodbye, get the fuck out of here. You no longer live here. And my whole family is doing it. My 3-year-old, my 6-year-old, me, and my husband. Okay, now, in association to this parasite cleanse, what we're doing is we're eating raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. A little ODB, okay? We're doing it raw, dog, okay? And I feel amazing. Why? Because all the micronutrients that are in raw food that hasn't been cooked and steamed away is just going into every inch of my cell. Because parasites, they love the mucus of dairies. And worms in general, we know worms. We know composting. Hate to tell you, your guts are a compost for parasites. They are loving it. So when you have dead fish, dead animals, that you're eating, so are they. Okay, so were they. And the thing that really set me off is when we were in Cancun, we shared a room with my kids, right? Like we had 2 beds. I slept with my daughter. My husband slept with my son. My son woke me up, teeth grinding like crap. I've never slept with him for that long before. I mean, teeth grinding after teeth grinding after teeth grinding. And I was like, oh no. I'm sure he's riddled with parasites. So we're doing it. And eating raw is actually easier for me than a juice cleanse. Have you guys ever been on a juice cleanse? Mother lover. You are starving. And then you have another juice that spikes your blood sugar. And then you're just like, oh, juice cleanses are the worst. But this 10-day raw food is really good. I break my fast with an avocado. I have raw kimchi. I have raw kombucha. I have bananas, peanut butter, nuts. I make a big salad with like the whole garden that fills me up. So yeah, I've been doing it raw, dog. I've lost 1.5 pounds in 5 days. It also comes with a colon cleanse, so you're exiting all the things that you're killing inside of this cleanse. This is a lifestyle podcast, and let me tell you, one of the cleanest things that you can do for your lifestyle is shit. Get all that stuff out. Do you know they say that we have like 8 to 10 pounds of just waste inside us at any moment? Did you know you're supposed to be pooping 2 or 3 times a day? I didn't know that. Do you do that? 3 times a day? They say your colon works if after you eat, 20 to 40 minutes after, you have to go to the bathroom. What? That's not happening over here. Damn I. We all do it. I've talked about this before. And sometimes I like to think about this. Before I have a meeting with someone, let's say that I had a meeting with Netflix. I'm just going to bring that into the Manifestation Nation because this is a show. And before I had a meeting with Netflix, if there was an executive or something I'm meeting, I like to just picture them on the crapper. Whatever kind of pedestal your brain is putting them on, just imagine them shitting. It brings them right down there to earth, right? Kim Kardashian, shitting. Brad Pitt, shitting. Your date that you're so excited about, imagine them shitting. It's just like, there's nothing better. And then if you think that, you can have a little giggle to yourself and go in with your own little secret, right? And just imagine them shitting, and then it just knocks them down a few pegs, okay? Anyways, and I'm sure you're imagining me shitting, so now we're closer. Moving on. So this week, I left it summer week. My kids have been in camp. My little one's still kind of going to a play group. I was like, you know what? After Cancun, we're going to come home, and we're all just going to have a week of summer together. Now, we have been playing with the neighbors a lot. Let me tell you, in the South, you can say, bless their heart. Now, when you say bless their heart, you can talk as much shit. You can talk as much trash. You could be as rude as you want afterwards. But you got to preface it with bless their heart. You got to bookend it with bless their heart and Jesus, I'm praying for her. Okay, that's what you do in the South. So one of my neighbors, bless her heart, she is dumb as rocks. And I'm praying for her. No, on a serious note, she's so dumb that I really have to watch how much it triggers me. I'm like, what is wrong with me that a 5-year-old little girl who's so beautiful is so stupid and just fucking pisses me off? I'm clearly the psycho. And she looks at me and she's like, hi, are you good home? And I'm just like, what are you saying? Talk clear. I'm just like, I can't take this stupidity. And she's like, I go to Disney Band. And I'm like, you mean Disneyland? What is wrong with me? Do stupid children trigger you too? Or am I alone on this island? Here's the example, okay? We had a slip and slide. And I was like, okay, it's the week. It's been a long week. Go get a slip and slide. I don't know what to do with these kids at the 4 p.m., 5 p.m. witching hour. My husband went to Target and got a slip and slide. Every time you walk back on the slip and slide, it would crunch it in the grass, making it wrinkled. And then I would have to pull it out again. So I said, okay, everybody, here's the rule. You slip and you slide down to the end. When you're done, you hop out of the slip and slide and you walk on the grass, because they were also crashing into each other. Because, they're so walk on the grass, and then the next person can go, and we're going to get a good little loop going on this slip and slide. She could not get walk on the grass. Could not get it. I told her 2, 3, 4, 5. After the 5th time, I said, okay, now you're just dumb, Juge, because you're clearly talking to a wall. And she go, and chew on her hair. And I was just like, bless her heart. I feel like teachers should get paid as much as professional athletes, because to be honest, you are a professional athlete, okay? Because it's the athleticism of the mind and of the emotions. That's where it's an athletic situation, because boy, your patience has to be professional level. Your tolerance has to be professional grade. They're not paying teachers enough to spend 6 to 8 hours. If this is the general consensus of the kids, they ain't giving them enough money. Anyways, moving on. Let's get into some domestic goddessness, shall we? Cooking. Okay, it's summertime. Summer equals salad, right? You don't want a lot of hot stuff. I'm on this raw diet, so I've just been filtering, searching for the best salads that are out there on the internet. And let me tell you, there's some aplenty. One in particular I am obsessed with. This was so good on its own because it felt like a sushi switch, but also it would be really good with like a salmon bowl or something like that, let me tell you. Persian cucumbers, I like to keep them whole and round, sliced really thin. Shredded carrots, which is great because you can buy bags of those pre-shredded. A red bell pepper and an orange bell pepper. You kind of want it the length of the Persian cucumber round so that everything kind of has the same sizing. And an avocado. That's it. 4 ingredients, right? You pour a splash of toasted sesame oil. Then everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. This is amazing. It's got onions, it's got garlic, it's got sesame seeds. For some reason, it gives a very Asian-y type texture and feeling when it's in a salad. It's so good. Then you get Makoto dressing. It's in the refrigerated section at Sprouts, and it's a ginger dressing. This is divine. Okay, it's got soy sauce, it's got ginger, it's got a little toasted sesame oil in there too. It's got all the things wrapped up in one. If you can't find it, you should order it online. Or they have a Makoto dupe that you can also find online and make your own. And then finally, squeeze some lime on it and then add chili crunch oil. Give that a big toss. It is the perfect summer salad when you're eating something and you really want to be eating sushi, and it kind of tricks your brain into thinking that you're having a sushi because it has all of the Asian flavorings. When I'm back on eating non-raw things, I'm definitely going to marinate my salmon with it, have this salad and a little bit of rice. Sounds divine. Make it. Let me know what you think. So I was in Mexico and I was drinking a lot of margaritas, and I wanted to come home and kind of put a twist on it. Don't forget about a classic Paloma, okay? The Paloma cocktail is perfect for summer. It's got the lime juice, it's got the tequila, any good tequila blanco will do, and then it's got fresh grapefruit juice. If you can find a pink grapefruit, it looks so beautiful in your cup. Paloma is the margarita's cousin that moved to LA. That's what I feel. The margarita is there. She's cool. She's classic. But I feel like the Paloma is like her cool, hip cousin, you know, that's just like bout it. You salt the rim. You have the lime wedge in there. So you see a little green, a little pink, a little salted. Oh, gorgeous. A Paloma. Make one. Trust me, you won't regret it. Decor. Do you have a place that's concrete? And can you make it smooth concrete? Like, do you have a porch? Do you have a back patio? Do you have something that has smooth concrete that you're not loving? If you do, what I am so into is painting it, then adding a square on the angle so it looks like a diamond, and then making it look like tile. I am so obsessed with this DIY hack. So basically, if you have any place that's smooth concrete, what you do is you paint the concrete. You can even do this for wood. If it's a porch or something that you're just like, I'm not loving this, paint it. So if you were doing a light green, then you would do a dark green square, right? And then that makes that classic square pattern. If you were doing a tan, you could do a red, like a burnt red brick kind of thing, or like an orange that would look really beautiful. You could do classic black and white. That would elevate your space so much. So you paint it and then you seal it. And that is such a cheaper DIY way. You know, I'm obsessed. I'm going to see if I can smooth out my concrete in the front because I'm like, I would love this to be tiled, but it's concrete. If we could smooth this out, I could paint this mofo and we'd be off to the races. So if you have a deck or a smooth concrete area, there is paint for concrete, paint for decks. Make a little pattern out of it, seal it, do a DIY, have some fun with it, get into it. All right, and with that, let's move on to some Q&A with some TNA, baby. Dear Juju, I love your podcast and all of your tips. Oh, thank you. We just moved into a new place that feels very sterile. How do you make a home feel more cozy and inviting? Oh, 3 tips to having your home feel really cozy is layering, lighting, and life. Okay? Now let me explain. Number 1, layering. So what you really want to do when something is cozy, what does it do? It feels good because of the texture. So a home or a room really has to be layered with texture. A lot of natural woods. I like curtains. A lot of people think that curtains are now not in vogue. Even if it's just shears, that layering adds a texture and a layer of coziness and kind of softens it up. Always when layering, you want to lean in every once in a while to something whimsical. And what I have up here that you can't see that's in my podcast, I have these paper mache bird swan things that are really cool that come out of the wall. And that's what layering gives you. It softens it up, because if I just left this the white wall that it was with all four walls, you wouldn't think it's cozy. And my dining room, I would say, is one of the most coziest rooms in my house because it's also the most layered room in my home. So layering, layer. And when you think you're done layering, layer some more. Last tip I will say for the layering is artwork. Okay. Number 2, lighting. Whatever overhead pots are in, turn them off. Okay. Get lamps. Get those lightings that's uplight. If you have a window that has shades on it and at nighttime, what you need to do is get like a Phillips track. They have those now. It's so easy. It turns on with a remote. You can plug it in and tuck it in behind the drapes. And then this lighting, lamps, uplighting. Like think about creating this space not with the pot lights or the overhead lights. And if you do have overhead lights, mandatory. Get the Philips bulbs, the smart bulbs that you can adjust, that you can make warm, that you can go down. So it's just a glow and not these like things that you turn on. I mean, hello. We've all gone into the dressing rooms and we've all been victims of overhead lighting. Have you been a victim of overhead lighting? Yes, because we've all gone into those dressing rooms and the lights come down on you at an angle that is just ghastly. Okay? If it's not good for the dressing room, then it definitely ain't gonna be good for the bedroom. The lighting has to be curated. So we have layering, we have lighting, life, things that have life. And this is plants. Adding natural plants really gives a space that it's lived in, that it's watered, that it's, it adds just a source of energy to the whole space that gives it something great. I have tried so many times to put a huge tropical plant here, but it's just too dark in this space. So I always have fresh flowers in the space as well. Give something, I know technically they're dead, but you know what I'm saying. Like give some kind of naturalness to the space, always makes it feel cozy. Layering, lighting, life. Honey, she'll be cozy in no time. Dear Juju, listening to your take on the Hawk Tuah girl made me laugh. Oh, good. Wanted to see if you knew this. Remember the Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil? Do you know that she has made $57 million on OnlyFans? No, I did not know that. What is your take, and would you ever do an OnlyFans? Is any PR good PR? Where do you draw the line? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Well, for me, no. To me, OnlyFans just has a connotation that is sexual. And, I'm a mother. I already am out here slanging dick jokes on the internet. You know what I mean? I don't really need to take it that step further. I'm also a credible showrunner, director, producer, writer, editor. I think to be taken seriously in your industry or craft, or maybe just even for yourself, I don't think you have an OnlyFans. The Cash Me Outside girl, that makes sense, right? She got her 5 minutes of fame on Dr. Phil and then wrote it into the OnlyFans. But for me, that's just not my vibe. That's just, and you know what? Where do you draw the line? Wherever you feel like you should draw the line. Here's the thing that's really annoying about me is I have integrity. It gets in the way of a lot, especially here in Hollywood, okay? Now, as a professional dancer, there was many a famous bros that would have taken, advantage of this dancer, right? And a lot of dancers do take advantage of that situation as well. But I have integrity. I do. It's so annoying. I find it really, I have integrity as an artist where even things that are trending online like TikTok or Instagram, I'm like, I don't want to do that. And my integrity as a creative won't even let me do certain things, let alone go down the rabbit hole of OnlyFans. And another thing that I will say is I had my 20s kind of before the internet was really popping off, you know? So I had a good time doing what I did, and there's no trace of that good time. The nasty comment, I talked about it a few times ago. They were like, why do you make so many sexual innuendo jokes? Don't you have a daughter? Is this what you want for her? I was like, well, no, not right now because she's 3. But will I be proud when my daughter's in her 20s and she sees her mom making very intellectual sexual innuendo jokes, dick jokes? Yes. I will be proud, yes, at that point going, my mom was funny. She was out there. She was smart. She was sexy. She created all this stuff. She edited all this stuff. If that's all that lady sees is me just a bunch of dick jokes, then you know what? You are quantifying how simple you are, my friend. But yes, I am proud of the content and the legacy that I am leaving. I am always conscious of that. I'm always conscious of what I'm putting out there can never really be erased. So the legacy and the graveyard of the content that I am leaving behind, I want to be proud of, not just for myself, but for my children or anyone else. So yeah, for me, it's a no. It's just a no. Hard no. How hard? That's the podcast. Yeah, next time you're going in for something, a first date or a meeting, just imagine those people shitting. You know, imagine them on the pot, sweating, getting one out. And I think that's really going to help you lower the expectations. Try a Paloma, okay? Get you some fresh grapefruit juice, squeeze a little tequila and lime juice and some simple syrup and salt in that mofo. Also, look into concrete painting, okay? That's really fun. Don't forget that you're a star. We all know that it's the inside that counts. The star is on the inside. Don't forget it. I love you. I'll see you next week, and I'm out. Mwah!